Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today we are in week 3. Yes, that's right, week 3 of the journey. It has been a tough week, I will tell you that. More recovery from this surgical thing that I've had going on from this hernia repair, but it's been a good week. Coach Vic, it was funny when I told her I was getting ready to come in here and do this video. She said, "Be careful, Bob, you've got that look in your eye." So we'll talk about that in just a minute. But before we get going, if you would give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And also, if you find this inspiring and motivating to you, please share this with others because, the journey is our life. That's what it is. And these videos are for you and for me to be motivated to do more and to be better. Obviously, this week I worked on mind, body, and soul. So let's talk about, I'm going to do body first because the mind and the soul were the big ones this week. All right, so body, let's talk about body. My goal was to accomplish something. It was 5 days of the last 7. I've gotten more than 10,000 steps in each day. My goal was to walk 6 miles each day. Now I know what you're saying, Coach, you were 1 week post-operative. That's a little radical. My doctor told me as long as I wasn't hurting, it was fine to do these things. So I'd break it up into sections. I'd walk a couple of miles. I'd come inside, do whatever, chill. An hour or two later, go out and walk 2 miles, do it again. Well, then the weekend comes. The rain, the cold, the 20 degree weather, and I don't want to get sick. So what I had to do was go to the gym and do it on a treadmill on the inside. I have a small treadmill here at home, but I had to go to the gym and use a big treadmill. The big boy treadmill, with the handles. I need something more secure. My treadmill is very narrow and it is more of a walking pad, but it is electronic, so it turns. And if you take one misstep, you can fall. So with the fact that I have stitches and stuff, probably not a good idea to risk falling. So I did very well on that. As far as my diet, I ate pretty clean this week. Coach Vic and I had our children over this weekend with a grandchild, so we did do some sugar cookies. I didn't eat a lot of them, but I did have a couple. Today, I took my son-in-law to lunch, and what I did, because I knew this lunch was going to be a little indulgent, although the macros were okay, I knew it was going to be a little indulgent calorically. I did not eat before or after. So sometimes when you know you're going to do something like that, you need to pre-plan and go, this is going to be a big meal. I'm not going to kill myself with these other things. All right. So that was that as far as, diet and exercise. And I'll give myself a grade on that here at the end of the video. All right. So let's talk about the mind and the soul. This week was a week of challenges for me. And although I may sound a little motivated right now, I've been very frustrated, very, very frustrated because I want to do more. I'm in the gym walking on a treadmill and I'm walking slow and I really don't like that. I don't like doing it. And I want to lift weights and I want to do things and I can't because doctor's orders are telling me, well, don't do it. You'll ruin the surgical repair of your hernia and then there you are. So I have to be very careful. I go to see him on Thursday. He'll probably loosen the reins a little bit, so maybe I can do like curls. But the one thing that happens when we get frustrated, when we have these hurdles put in our way, we often lose our motivation, our desire to do the things we need to do, to eat right, our desire to get in the gym, our desire to simply go for a walk on the treadmill because it's not enough. We want more. So I had to make a decision this week. Was I going to give up? Was I going to take the week off? Was I going to lay around and lick my wounds and go, hey, my belly doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. It looks a little distended and I don't like that. And I was told all of this was going to happen, but I don't like it. So what am I going to do? Lay around and wallow in the mire? Well, that's our first thought. That's what we go to as human beings. Our go-to is to lay down and give in. Whenever I start to get that feeling, I always remember that I am a coach. I am a coach, and it means something to me to be fit. It means something to me to be mentally tough, to lead others. So often That is the impetus for us to get up and get off of our duff, is the fact that we're doing it for other people as well. So this week, I've been reading a little book right here. It's called The 3D Coach. It's by Dr. Jeff Duke. It's got a foreword by Bobby Bowden, an FSU guy, which that shouldn't surprise anyone. I'm in Tallahassee. This is a great little book. It's a simple read. I went through the whole book this week, no problem. It's one you can add to your list. You might enjoy it. It really talks more about coaching, but if you're a grandparent or a parent, or if you just want to lead others, it's always good to get that kind of information. So that was my intellectual stuff this week, but what about the spiritual stuff? Did I feed my soul? I'm going to tell you I did. And this week I did better on that because I needed to do better, because I was finding myself getting very frustrated, angry, disappointed. Even though I feel way better than I imagined I would at this point, the frustration's starting to sink in. So I thought about a few things this week, about what is going to be my mantra this year. What am I going to say to myself that is going to make my life better? One of the things that I have done, I put on my mirror, I am a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission. And I am going to rebuild this machine this year. And the only way that I'm not going to is if God just shuts me down. But otherwise, I am going to do it. And I'm going to do it not just for me. I'm going to do it for the kids that I coach. I'm going to do it for Coach Vic, my beautiful wife. I'm going to do it for my grandchildren and my children. But I need something spiritual. I need something that's the inner man, I need that lifted up. So I grabbed a few verses. So if you don't want to be inspired, you need to click out of the video now. But if you can sense that I'm getting a little fired up, then yeah, you're starting to feel it, what's going on. And that's why Coach Vic tells me, you need to calm down. If I have a picture, I'll share it right here. This is a picture of me when I was doing the Ironman. My friends used to call me Psycho Bob. I can go through pain. I can run through pain, ride through pain, swim through pain. And I can do it without it. I get in this zone and I'm going. I'm there. I'm in that moment. All I hear is my breath and my feet. Bam, bam, bam. And I'm there and I love it. I have, over the years, had these verses. I'd write them on my hand, I'd write them on my leg. I'd do what I needed to do to have them, to use them as fuel as I would do things. As I would do things in my yard, as I would work around the house, as I would go into the gym and lift weights. I use these verses to make me do things better. And so these verses have carried me through this week, and I want to share them with you. Here they are, Ecclesiastes 9:10. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. Do it with all your might. Don't do it halfway. Don't do it half-hearted. If you're going to do it half-hearted, don't do it at all. Do it with all your might. Proverbs 24:27. This is one that I love. Prepare your outside work. Make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterward, build your house. Build it, baby. Build it. Build this house. Philippians 3:13 and 14. This one is very familiar for believers. Forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what's ahead, I press on towards the goal for the prize of the upward call. We press on. We don't give in. We press towards the mark. That's what we do. Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. I'm not in this alone. I am a man on a mission, and I am not alone. And last but not least, Timothy 4:12. This is the coach verse, I call it. Set the believers an example in speech, conduct, love, faith, and purity. We need to set an example for those around us. So yes, I fed my soul this week, big time. Yes, I have been very, very frustrated. Yes, I've been very, very disappointed. My belly's a little distended because I haven't been able to tighten my abdomen. And so that muscle is just relaxing. And it's amazing how just 2 weeks of letting my belly just kind of bloop it really wants to bloop out, and I don't like that at all. I don't like it at all. But until I can use those abdominal muscles like I want to, I have no choice. I've just got to live with the look, and I don't like it. That's vanity, and I know that, but I don't like it. So let's see how I did in my mind, my score, and I'm pretty objective. I don't mind giving myself an F if I did bad. I would say my diet this week was a C, probably 75. You know, the sugar cookies, although I didn't eat that many of them, I wasn't that strict either. So I could have done better. So what was my weight loss and gain on that? I didn't gain a pound. I didn't lose a pound. I sat right there at 211. That's where I am. So what about exercise? Exercise this week, I did pretty well. I'm going to give myself a 90 on exercise. I got 10,000 steps almost every day. I got 6 miles almost every day. And I felt pretty good about that. I want to do more, not necessarily more time. I just want to be able to get in there and grind it out. And I can't do that. But as far as what I could do, what I was capable of doing, I got that. So my mind, where was I? I'd say this week, 90%. 90%. Intellectually, I was feeding my mind. I was reading, growing. Even though it's a book that I've read before, it inspires me, it moves me. And every time I read something a second, third, fourth time, there are things in there are snapshots where I'll read something and I'll be like, wow, that section didn't speak to me before, but it really did now. And last but not least, how did I do spiritually? I've got to look at it this way. I would say how I felt. If I just went on how I felt, I would be like, I did very poorly. I did very, very poorly. But if I go by what I did to rectify how I felt, I did very, very well. So do you base it on how you feel, or do you base it on what you do? I'm going to tell you, how you feel means very little. When you're running in a race, or when you're doing something or doing this or that, how you feel really doesn't mean a whole lot. It's what you do. So I will say, if I based it on my feelings, the score would be low. But I'm not basing it on that. I'm basing it on what I read and how I fed my soul and what it made me do to be a better man, to get in there and do the right thing. So I'd give myself a 90. Look at that, a 90. Yeah, a low A. I've got a long way to go, and I can do a lot better. And I can tell you, this house that I'm building is pretty darn dilapidated old shack right now. But when I can get out there and rebuild this house, I'm going to rebuild all of it. Soul, mind, body. I'm going to rebuild it all because it needs a cleaning. All right. So there you go. You can tell I'm a little fired up this week. I am, because I've got a long way to go, but I'm ready to run the race hard. I'm ready to do it now. I am a man on a mission, and I hope you are too. All right. So give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, all that jazz. If you're inspired by this, share it, share it, share it. This stuff's really, really important. So yes, the journey, week 3, has come to a close. So I want you to do me a favor. Yes, you, go out and change your world.